Hi everyone, welcome to episode 18 of Behind the Brush. I'm Joy Baker with All About Art Gallery, and today I'm joined in the gallery with one of our local artists. Welcome Brandie Lee. Hi Brandie, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, we are very happy to have you. We have represented Brandie's work for about 4 or 5 years now, I think, a little while. We started out just printing for her. She's a local artist who sells her work online, and then kind of graduated into a little something else because we thought that she really had something to bring to the gallery. So you are a local artist. You live in Nashville currently, right?
I do, yeah.
Have you always lived here?
No, actually, I've been here about 8 years. I'm from Macon, Georgia, originally.
Okay.
And but I feel like a native at this point because Nashville has changed so much over the last 8 years. So I kind of feel like it's my hometown at this point.
Yeah, well, it kind of is. So did you move here to study? Have you ever studied art? Did you do that in Georgia?
No, I moved here, honestly, to put my roots down somewhere and I lived with my grandmother at the time when I moved in to be able to do art, though. So I was able to spend a lot more of my time at a desk painting and stuff because she lived by herself and I was able to work just a little night job and not have to pay Nashville rent prices.
So yeah, because they are great. Nice. Well, I would assume that you've been doing art for a long time. You're so good at it. Have you been doing it since you were little, or?
I have been doing it since I was little. It's always been something that just sort of came naturally. I remember sitting at my desk drawing this little deer that probably a lot of people might have in their childhood somewhere, that sits on the mantle. And I just have this memory of drawing that, and I found one at Goodwill the other day. It's almost like I'm going to have that because I don't know what happened to our family little deer. And then, I've done it. I've just kind of done it all my life. It's been something that's fascinated me. So,
what would you say is your earliest memory of creating art?
Outside of the deer, actually, probably earlier would be. In kindergarten, we were doing that little tree painting where, they do like a little image of a tree and you finger paint.
Yes.
And I remember sitting there and like mixing the colors together and doing leaves of like multicolors. And for some reason I was so lost in it, I guess flow state. And like these 2 boys in my class were standing behind me and they're like, "Whoa, that's awesome." And that was the first time I heard the word awesome. So every time I've heard that word since for so long, it brought me back to that memory because I wasn't aware. I was just very much like this, getting lost in the play of it. And then the fact that other people saw it and liked it was really kind of fun. I was like, oh, that's neat.
It's definitely rewarding as an artist when someone else looks at your work and is like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think at that age you don't really realize what you do is art because kids are so naturally creative, so you're just always making stuff.
Yeah. So you're primarily self-taught, I would assume.
Yeah. I took a few little art classes here and there in high school and maybe one in college, but it's mostly self-taught. I think I like learning that way better.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite medium to use?
Probably watercolor. I mean, I like acrylic paint and I like watercolor. I think partly because you can use all of it and you can just keep. I have found watercolor to be a little more forgiving than I thought it was. Yeah, I mean, right now I feel a little bit more control over watercolor than I used to, so that's probably my go-to.
Yeah, watercolor's like the hardest. I think
that's what they say, but I don't feel like I paint in a watercolory style. I think a lot of times when people look at my stuff, it's kind of hard to tell that it's watercolor, and that's probably just because I haven't learned the real way to paint with watercolor or something. I don't know.
So is that what you painted the alphabet with, or those watercolors?
Those are, yeah. Each one of those is about a foot tall. So I did them each individually in watercolor. And
do you still have all of your originals of those?
I have most of my originals. There's a orthodontist in Goodlettsville that has the narwhals. So she's a really good family friend and had helped me out a lot. And so I wanted to give her the narwhal since it was dental related with the toothbrush.
Oh yeah, they're brushing their little
They're
horns.
one tooth, which that's what that little spiral is. It's a tooth. It's not actually a horn.
I don't think I knew that.
One of those weird little facts that I learned when doing the alphabet. So
nice. Well, so the alphabet or watercolor, and then another thing that we've been selling a lot for you lately are your lino prints. So tell me about kind of your process of making those, because it seems pretty fun.
It is fun. So I did a internship at Hat Show Print in downtown Nashville, and I was exposed to the process of letterpress printing. And I think I just kind of got the bug and started I don't know really why I came up with that idea, but I love cocktails. I'm a bartender by night, baker by day, which I'm quitting, and I'm so excited to get back to my artwork. But I just designed them in my head, and I like the idea of having simplistic and functional art. So like form and function together.
So how do you actually make those? Do you take like a block of something and then carve out your shapes? Or
I do. I take a block, linoleum block, and you carve out the image, but you do it backwards. So usually I spend time making the rough design, and then I sort of transfer it onto the linoleum and start carving. And it's really like, it feels sort of like in flow state too, or like a mandala. What are those called? Those little...
I think they're called mandalas, right?
Yeah, mandalas.
It's like that, like the blossoming art kind of.
Yeah, it feels kind of like that to me. Kind of, you get into it and I just start carving it, and I do it all backwards. And I do it slow enough to where I can actually sort of think backwards, which is nice. And then from there, once I have that, it's almost like it almost turns into a giant stamp, if you will. And I have an old press that I use, and ink it up and press it and kind of do each one by hand.
Is it like the roll type thing?
I hand ink them, each one, and then I press it on an old sign press.
Okay.
A store press. So
those turn out really cool, and they're all like,
you.
they're very unique. You can look at them and like the way the ink kind of rolls on some of them is a little different from the next, and I would assume that these are kind of customizable. Like if somebody ever wanted one on a different shade of paper.
Yeah.
You could
So as
always
far as
do something
the
different.
actual design is not customizable, but you could do a different ink. I theoretically could try a different ink color or a different kind of paper.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Right on. So I know that you said that you like to do these because you have a love of cocktails. Is there anything else that you aim to kind of communicate through your work, like whether it's these or your coffee prints or anything else?
I would say, these were just really fun. I feel like these were fun to do, to kind of the challenge of different parameters of like making it functional and still making it look good. And you could literally have these in your home bar and forget how to make something and turn around and look at your art and remember how to make an old fashioned or something. With the animal letters, and I think with some of my other work, I really enjoy a little bit of paradox sometimes. And then I think I laughed so much doing the animal letters, and it's been a couple years since I did those, but they were so fun to just create these creatures out of sort of my mind and make them laughing and so much. So I think joy. I aim to create joy or exhibit joy and beauty and connection. I always envision with the animal letters like a parent with their kid reading and just, I think it's good for our brains to see joy in front of us, to see like love and joy and connection and laughter. I have memories of laughing with my sister, rolling on the floor laughing as kids, and I think that feeling comes to me when I'm creating them. So.
Well, I think you've definitely accomplished that, especially with the Laugh-A-Bet letters. Those are so sweet, and anytime people see them when they're walking through the shop, they always have a great response to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
They are really cool. Well, what are you working on now? Do you have anything going on up in the pipeline?
Oh man, I've been so busy work-wise, my day job, because I'm a starving artist. But I think I'm working on, honestly, making more time to get back to my art. So I've been working in the corporate world the last few years, and I finally turned a corner where I can just bartend at night, and I'll be able to get back to my artwork during the day. So I would say I'm working on getting back to my artwork. And secondarily, I think I have books inside of me that I want to get out. So similar to the Laugh-A-Bet alphabet, which I'm actually talking with a friend, and we're putting that together in a book form.
A Laugh-A-Bet book?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh,
it's
that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's been like what I've always seen them, like that's like their home. So I'm excited to finally have them in a home, all in one book. So you don't, you can get them all in one collection, and then if you want to, spell a name or something, you can still buy them separately.
That'll be perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm really excited for the things that you've got going on. New books coming from you and new artwork, and I'm so happy that you were here to meet with me today. I really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here, and I really appreciate your studio here. I mean, your art gallery here, and all that you guys do. You're always so supportive, and I love this place. So it makes me feel legitimate as an artist, and it's great. I'm really grateful to be part of this really cool space that's always evolving and changing. And every time I come in, there's something different. So
Well, thank you.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. For anyone who doesn't know, we are All About Art Gallery. We're located in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and we represent more than 45 different local artists such as Brandie. So feel free to stop by and come in and take a look at all of our offerings. We're located in the City Square Shopping Center in Hendersonville, Tennessee at 260 West Main Street. And for more information on our services, you can see our website, allaboutartgallery.com, or find us on Facebook. Thanks again for coming, Brandie.
Thanks for having me.